I think we're going. Good morning. So, got a little heat on. What I'm doing now is I got to get rid of that little line right there, because as you try to slide these things over, they catch right there. So I'm just going to take care of that. I got to grind off a little bit of this corner here and then drill this plate out to go on the top of those things. So that's kind of cool. I'm pretty stoked, man. I got a lot of songs going on, and the band, we got guys lined up to see if we can record, and lyrically things are going together. So I'm pretty stoked, and the instrument, man, plays a big part of it. So I want to do the best I can to try to get this instrument playing well, especially before I record in January. And that's all I needed. I just need to knock that down just a little bit. That's pretty good. Yeah, and I don't care if it's kind of dinged up a little bit. It doesn't bother me that much. This thing, one thing about these Dremels is you go like this. You go like this and it's spitting sparks right back in my face on my jacket. So you kind of got to go lefty, which isn't really as accurate, but it's alright. I just need to be able to slide this thing over just a little bit more in order to get these they work almost like grinders too. I wanted to try to leave a little stud there because on this one it helps to hold it down. So I got that. Then I took this little washer here off of one of those holes in order to size the drill bit. I got this little bag of tricks to keep all my drills and stuff in here. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so I got all my songs together. Man, I got all the songs together. I got studio time. Been practicing as much as I can. Yeah, I'm just stoked. The hard thing is, the fucking drill bits. The hard thing is, finding a common focus, man. When you're like, when you playing all it, when you're like going around and like, oh, this sounds really cool, let's do that. And then you're like, do this, and you're like, oh, that sounds really cool, let's do that. And then you end up kind of getting disjointed. That's perfect size right there. You get disjointed, and I'm trying to. I mean, not that that's a bad thing, but that's one of the goals that I have, is to try to just really focus on just narrow the focus of what it is that I want to do, and try to, when you get your favorite songs, just try to, like, where is that space in like your head and in your feeling and in the, whatever, where is that, and what direction is that looking in? And then you go out, you go the next day, you're like, oh, I hear this song or whatever, oh, maybe make a little song that sounds kind of like this, and then you like playing that song. And if you think about it and are sensitive to what it is you're doing, you realize that now that's a little bit different. Maybe that's this kind of song. It's going a little bit towards the rock side, or it's going a little bit towards the R&B side, or it's going a little bit and I think you can fool yourself and like, oh, that's really good. Yeah, but it's getting away. But don't you want a fingerprint? Don't you want a single thing that defines what it is this project is and what it is you're trying to do? So I think that's a battle. That's a battle that you go through. So I'm always trying to remind myself where I'm at, what specific location I'm at in my head, and even more importantly, what thoughts are occupying that space, and what direction am I looking at? And then if I'm like doing a song, or if I'm going, oh, this is cool, and then you're starting to write lyrics, and you're like, oh, that's a whole other thing, because you can write third party, you can write talking to somebody else, you can write how you're feeling about your own self, you can like write about they, you can write about her individually, persons as a group, persons as a. So there's all these different ways to write, which are all great songs have been written all different ways. But again, I'm trying to create a fingerprint, so I'm trying to like where am I at? What space am I in? What thoughts do I have that are leading this direction, and then stay in that thought. And that's hard. That's not easy to do, especially because a lot of art is just, it's just this self-reflection bullshit. So you're like in this fucking weird space. You might as well just go lock yourself in a fucking closet for a month. And that way, nobody bothers you. You don't have to bother anybody else with your selfishness. So it's like, you get out. You just need that. You need that time, man. You need that time alone to think and see. But anyway, so I've been working on that, and I think I got that going. I'm really excited about that. The hurdle's going to be recording, man, because I don't have the facility to make a band and go get on the road, and because that's how you develop that sense of authenticity. So I'm trying to develop that authenticity by time spent in my head rather than time spent in labor. And really, there's no substitution for labor. Now picking guys, it depends on what you're laboring at, I mean, you got guys that are like studio cats and playing all these different styles. You're not necessarily going to go find that guy, and he's going to come in and be able to give you the fingerprint that you want. So there's lots of different ramifications on what it is, how to put things together, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, this is that. Where the fuck was I? This is this. I gotta figure out a way to pin this down. I think I just do this and then just fucking hold it. I hope it doesn't go anywhere. Just let me do that. This. How cool are all the new tools? I didn't break that bit already. I don't think I did. So that, and then getting a start on screws is a fucking bitch too. You know what? I think I changed my mind. I'm gonna go with one size bigger because there's no way I am going to be. I'll just ream it out with this and have one size bigger. Accurate enough with my eyeball measurements. And these things, there's 6 of them in a line. They all got to fit right on there. That one's really close. Bam. This one is right. Why don't I just... Fuck, I don't have a punch. That's why. I mean, I got this little crude punch that I made. But that's more of a wood punch. It might work. I don't know. It might work. Look at this hammer. This hammer's sick. Hits that long head on there. I look for these things at antique shops, man, but it just has such a nice swing to it and a nice feel. I'm kind of a hammer guy. Let's see if I can get a little bit of this started there. Just a little bit of that. That'll help with the accuracy. Because these things love to spin out and take their own little path. Like it already fucking did. Bam. My first one's way off. Shit. Whoop. Just try to... It'll be alright, because I can just kind of ream it out a little bit. I ain't too worried about it. Yeah, that first one is fucked up. I don't know, man. Bam, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So anyway, I'm going to see how this whammy bar works, man. Hopefully the whammy bar works great. Tremolo or tremolo. Alright, that's enough. Later.